Ball 91. The Show Me State once again seems to be in the grips of football fever with the state football championships in hand. This year's Class 1, 2A, and 5A championships will be decided November the 29th and 30th at Faroe Field in Columbia. For ticket information for Show Me Bowl 91 available at today's game or through your local State Farm agent. A preceding message brought to you by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and KBTN. The Bombers, they're in their blue uniforms with the gold lettering and the gold helmets, with Bombers on the side, the Indians, the visitors this afternoon, in their solid white uniforms with the red piping on the pants, the red numbers, the white helmets, and it is cold in St. Louis.
Burroughs has uniforms almost exactly like NEO, and I'll tell you what, their size looks like NEO also. A junior college team. I mean, these guys are big and they look physical.
People who have seen them on film, the Seneca coaches said it's kind of like looking at a small junior college football team, and they are every bit of that. They're very big. What effect the muddy field will have on the offensive attack of either squad will certainly come forward here in just a moment. Both teams like to run the football. Burroughs will run out of the wishbone with some variations off of the wishbone. They like to give it to the running backs, Rogers, the fullbacks, Smith and White, the halfbacks. Chip Walter, in the two preceding playoff games, has rushed for 80 yards in each of the ball games, has scored 4 touchdowns. So he is always a threat to run with the football. The starting lineups this afternoon, first for John Burroughs, taking a look at their starting offensive lineups. Starting at center, number 50 is Josh Roman, a 5'11", 175-pound junior. At the guards, number 66, Brennan Mulligan. He's a 6'3", 245-pound senior, all-state player, as is Roman, the center. At the right guard, number 61, 6'1", 240 junior, Medley Gatewood. At the right tackle, number 62, a 6'1", 195 sophomore, number 62, Matt Simmons. He was a starter as a freshman a year ago. At the right end, number 93, Clayton Solka. He's a 6', 175-pound junior. At the left tackle is Andy Wolf, number 64, a 6', 218 junior. At the left offensive end, number 88, Matt Storich. He's a 6'1", 225 junior. In the backfield, starting at quarterback, is number 3, Chip Walter. He is a junior. At the fullback, number 38, Rob Rogers, a 6'1", 185 junior. At the left halfback, number 5, David White, a 6'1", 175 senior. At the right halfback, number 7, Greg Smith, a 6', 204 junior. He's had 900 yards this year, missed the first 4.5 games of the regular season with a broken leg. He's since that time rushed for 900 yards. He had 1,300 yards last year as a sophomore. For the defensive unit of the Seneca Indians this afternoon across the front, they will have first-team all-conference Travis Smith, number 30, a 185 junior. At the other tackle is Charlie Huff, number 70, a 150 senior. At the defensive ends, David Griffin, first-team all-conference defensive end. On the other side, number 58, Eddie Snow, 180-pound junior. The inside linebackers are number 33, Jim Hoover, first-team all-conference. Number 25, Kelly Thomas, second-team all-conference. Outside linebackers, first-team all-conference, number 74, Jason Henry. The other side is David Prosser, number 69, second-team all-conference. The cornerbacks, first-team all-conference, Troy McDaniel, number 5. Number 40, Cheyenne Cummings, second-team all-conference. And number 45, the free safety, honorable mention, Mac Whitehead. There you have the starting lineups, and we are set to get this one underway. We hope you enjoy it this afternoon.
Seneca won the toss. They deferred
to the second half, winning the toss. They will defend the north goal here in the first quarter, as they spread out along the 40-yard line and get set to kick it to the deep backs. Back to receive, number 3 on the far side of the field is Chip Walter. On the near side, number 5 is David White. The up backs are Greg Smith and Rob Rogers. as Mac Whitehead will set it on the tee, and we're set to go from St. Louis, and we hope you enjoy it on a cold, windy Saturday afternoon. Crowd on the near side, pretty well full. Far side, pretty sparse over there. That's the windy side of the field with nothing to protect you. Whitehead awaits the official signal, and the ball falls off of the tee. So he will either have to get it solid or have somebody hold it for him as they re-tease the football at the 40-yard line. He will be kicking with the wind at his back. And we are set to go once again. As the crowd gets into the kickoff, as Trump chops into the football and kicks it long, deep, Walter at the 20, back up the middle of the field, cuts to his right across the 30, and he's out to the 35-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Bombers at their own 36-yard line.
Ron Newsom made the tackle. It's an 18-yard return.
So a pretty good return after a nice kick by Whitehead. It'll be Bombers first down and 10 yards to go. Running south to north here in the first quarter. Chip Walter will bring him out. He will line up behind his All-State center, Josh Roman, as they come out and line up in the wishbone with Rogers at fullback, White to the left, Smith to the right. Here's the snap. They go to the right with the football. They give it to Smith. He belts his way over the middle and is tackled after a gain on the play up to the 38-yard line. Greg Smith, a 6-foot, 204-pound junior. He gained about 1.5 yards on the carry. Well, since neither team throws the football a whole lot, the wind may not be a factor along those lines. When it comes to the kicking game, it may very well be. They're set to go. Walter bends under center, second out and 8 yards to go. He turns left, keeps the football, dives over the middle and picks up 1 yard, and he's tackled right at the 40-yard line.
It looked like their offensive linemen just stood still. I mean, there was no way they could move. They were sliding all over the place. And
It is mushy in the middle of the field.
Hoover and Thomas Kelly are there.
He gained less than 1 yard. It'll be third down, and we'll call it 8 to go. Third down and 8 for first and down for the Bombers. So they're struggling right in the middle of the field, and the football is just rolling all over the place. They're going to have to respot the football. The wind is so strong and swirling down on the field that they can't even lay the football on the ground and get it to stay still. So the official has to hold it until the center gets up to the line of scrimmage. Now they're set to go as Walter drops back, gives to Smith. Smith over the middle. Now he fakes it, throws it out into the flat. It's complete to Shoka. He's down the far sideline across the 50, 45, 40, and out of bounds on the other side of the field as Walter throws to his tight end, Clayton Solka, for the first down. Well, there's the pass play, Darren, so I guess they can throw the football.
It was an awesome fake. It was a 21-yard pass. Troy McDaniel was out there in coverage, but they sent 2 guys out. He could only cover one of them. Too many linebackers went after the run.
So the fake enabled Walter to hit his tight end Solka for the first down in Seneca territory at the 41-yard line. Walter barks off the signal. Signal set back. Smith got it. He turns inside, crosses the 40, inside, down to the 36-yard line. Greg Smith on the run. And then they're on the tackle is Charlie Huff for the Seneca Indians.
That play looked like it had somewhere to go when it first started, but they just strung it out. And Seneca can keep doing that. If they can keep it in the wet part of the field there, I don't think John Burroughs is going to be able to run against them.
It'll be second down and 8 yards for a first and 10 for the Bombers. Well, the snow has stopped momentarily. There were some flakes of snow, but just prior to the football game, it has stopped now. The sky's a little bit lighter. but the wind continues to whip up out of the north. It is 2nd down and 8. Walter bids under center out of the eye, and he fakes the ball to Smith, gives to David White, left side, breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles. He's open on the sideline. He's inside the 30, to the 25, down to the 20-yard line. David White, the left halfback on the halfback pitch, brings it down to the Seneca 20, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for John Burroughs.
An 18-yard run there. Boy, I mean, they really had Seneca faked out on that one. Seneca had him stood up, but they just couldn't get any footing to get hold of him.
The Bombers break out of the huddle, driving on the Seneca Indians inside at the 20. They line up in the wishbone. Walter at quarterback with Rogers, White, and Smith in the backfield. He turns right, bumps one of his players, hands off to Rogers, the fullback. He breaks a tackle. He's inside the 15, down near the 11-yard line, and tackle there. Kelly on the tackle, Thomas Kelly and Hemry gang up to tackle him, but it's still a nice run by the fullback who has had 800 yards this year. Rob Rogers, 185 pounds, 6'1", senior. It'll be 2nd down, about 3 for John Burroughs' 1st down in the mud at Webster Groves High School. Walter set to go as he bends under. Here's the tailback with the ball. It's Smith. He's over the middle down to the 10. They need to get to the 10 for the 1st down. The officials look at it. They look over to the far side at the chains, and they're going to...
A little bit short.
Little bit short. Not the nose of the football short. It'll be 3rd down and that long for a 1st and 10. No score 1st quarter from Moss Field and Webster Groves. Bombers are set to go. 3rd down, less than the length of the football for a 1st and 10. Chip Walter will carry the football as he barks off the signals. Turns Smith. They stand him up, but don't know about it. Smith tried the right side, and I don't know if he made it or not. He hasn't given a signal yet.
No.
And I don't think he did. It's going to be 4th down. 4th down, and boy, the Indians defense did a fine job on Smith.
Well, Jim Hoover read it perfect. He just filled the gap. It seemed like the offensive lineman stood Seneca up, and it just gave Hoover a chance to penetrate right in there. He nailed him right when he handed it off.
7:08 to go in the 1st quarter. No score. The Bombers driving. 4th down, less than the length of the football for a 1st at the Seneca 11-yard line. Walter set to go. Barks off the signals, turns right. Smith dives right. He's got it if he didn't fumble the football. They will move the chains as Greg Smith diving over the right side over that big 240-pound right guard, Medley Gateway, to pick up the 1st down at the 9-yard line.
Well, that just showed John Burroughs' strength right there. That's what they do good. And Seneca's got to get them in 3rd and long yardage. They can't let them get 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 all day long because John Burroughs is going to run right over them.
John Burroughs using the clock. Seneca yet to touch the football. They've got it 1st and goal at the Seneca 9 and driving. Walter out of the wishbone. He turns right. Now he gives to Smith. Smith up the middle. Smith inside near the 5, and a big pile up there. And on the tackle, Mac Whitehead and Charlie Huff to bring him down to stop Greg Smith short of the 5-yard line. It's going to be spotted at the 7. 2nd down, goal to go for the Bombers with 6:14 to go in the 1st quarter. No score. Dean Walcher and Darren Burr from Moss Field in Webster Groves High School. They break out of the huddle and they send David White, wide receiver, to the left. Out on the right side is Clayton Solka. Official stops time for an equipment adjustment just momentarily to adjust the chin strap of one of the John Burroughs Bomber players, and quite an impressive drive so far, Darren.
Well, they've done exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to come out and take control and use up a little bit of the clock, and Seneca hasn't touched the ball yet. And
they have done that, and we're halfway through this 1st quarter, over halfway. I formation for Walter. Straight back with the football. Option play. Walter keeps it now. Pitches Smith. Smith at the 5. Dives. Touchdown, Smith.
Oh, that was just an excellent play by the quarterback. That was just an awesome. That was the triple option. Ran at its best right there. He waited till the absolute last second to pitch the ball. There wasn't anything Seneca could do. It was just a good play by John Burroughs.
7-yard touchdown run by Greg Smith of John Burroughs with 5:37 to go here in the first quarter. The extra point try will be tried by Rogers. Rob Rogers, the fullback, soccer-style kicker, will try the extra point, and Chip Walter will hold. The snap, good one. The ball is down. The kick is up, and it is good. And there's timeout on the field with 5:37 to go in the first quarter. It's John Burroughs 7, Seneca nothing. Here comes the kickoff by Burroughs, and it is picked up by one of the upbacks, John Baker, and Baker is tackled short of the 30-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Indians. And Darren, this is the first time in the ball game that the Indians have had their hands on the football, and Burroughs leads 7-0.
Well, Seneca's got to take control right now. Looks like Whitehead's going to come out at quarterback, and they want to move the ball. They don't want to go 3 downs and out right here.
They've got to control the football. Coach Tom Hodge says they've got to keep the Burroughs offense off the field. Here's the pitch, Cummings, right side. They wrap him up and deny him the line of scrimmage. He's thrown for a loss of about a yard. Boy, they really had that side on the right side of the offensive and the left side of the defense bottled up, and they've got Nat Storich over there defensively, 225-pound junior. He's got 15 quarterback sacks on the year. Also 245-pound Mulligan, 218 Wolf, and 200 Kantrovich across the front for the Burroughs. Bombers, they're big, they're strong. Here comes Seneca. Here's Cheyenne, right side, breaks one tackle. He bounces across one and out to the 35-yard line comes Cheyenne Cummings. A gain of 5 on the play, so they pick up 5. It'll be third down, 5 to go. In the secondary for the Bombers, Rogers, the inside linebacker, along with Matt Simmons. Outside linebackers are Micah Rufa and David White. His safety is Matt Donnie, and Chip Walter and Will Robinson are the cornerbacks. High formation for Seneca. Whitehead bends under center, turns, Cummings the football. He bounces off a couple of tacklers and gets out near the 40-yard line. It'll be up to 38, where it'll be fourth down. Depending on the spot, looks like it might be just a little bit short.
Yeah, it looks short.
So decision time for Tom Hodge right here if they're going to keep the offense of Burroughs off the field. I don't know if he's a gambler this early in the ballgame or not.
Well, if you lose here, you just have to go home. So, yeah, he's going after it.
Fourth down and a half a yard for a first. They've got to have it here. Seneca comes to the line of scrimmage, down 7-0 here in the first quarter. Whitehead barks off the signals. He keeps the football, and he may have it. It's going to take a good spot by the officials, but it looks like Jared Whitehead may have got the first down.
It's going to be close.
A big pile of blue and white out there.
I'll tell you, I think he fumbled the snap, so yeah, I think they gave it to him.
They're going to give it to him. I think from that angle, from our angle, it looks like he's got it, and he does. Whitehead picks up the first down at the 39-yard line, their own. On this cold, windy afternoon in St. Louis, both teams keeping the football on the ground. Seneca picking up their first and 10. Burroughs scoring with 5:37 to go in the first quarter, lead 7-0. Out of the I formation, Whitehead. He options right side. He's going to keep the football. He's going to be thrown back. They try to keep him standing up as Cheyenne Cummings helps to hold him up. And then there on the tackle is Brennan Mulligan for John Burroughs, along with Matt Storich.
There's nothing there on that play.
Nothing there on first down.
Oh.
It's going to be second down and 10 for Seneca first at the 39-yard line. Out of the eye is Whitehead, marks off the signals. He gives to Cheyenne Cummings, and he's stacked up at the 40-yard line. In a sea of mud and blue out there, Cummings goes down.
John Burroughs' linebackers are really penetrating. They're going right off the snap. They're looking for the run, and they're just running straight into the Seneca backfield. They're not even protecting for a pass.
They have given up only 7 points in their first 2 playoff games. And that was to Portageville last week. They are very strong defensively. 3rd down and 9 for an Indian first. Play goes right. Goes in there to Hoover. He's across the 40, up near the 45. He's going to be short at the 44-yard line. So this situation here, 4th down and 5, and the Indians will kick the football here as Lauren Newsom will come out and assume a blocking position as Jared Whitehead will drop back to punt the football. A nice belt-high snap and a nice spiral up with the wind at his back. It's going to bounce at the 40 and roll dead at the Bomber 38-yard line, 34-yard line it's going to be. And now one of the Burroughs players picks it up and runs with it, but I thought they blew it dead.
Yeah, there's just mass confusion everywhere.
There was confusion, and I thought the officials may have blown it dead, and we'll see what they do with it, but they're not going to. They're going to let the ball stay. One of the John Burroughs players came in and scooped the ball up after it had rolled still, and they're going to give him the spot.
Well, if anything, there's a flag on the field. If anything, it's going to be too many men on the field on Seneca because the defensive unit was running onto the field as the guy picked it up and took off running.
Yeah. That's what the call is going to be. Too many players on the field against Seneca. That's our first penalty of the afternoon. So things not going well right at the moment for Coach Tom Hodge. The official did not blow the whistle, so the ball was in play. And one of the Bomber players picked it up and ran up near midfield with it before he was finally tackled by Seneca. And it will stand with a penalty tacked on at the end against the Indians for too many men on the field. That is declined. It's refused. John Burroughs will take it at the 49-yard line, which draws a resounding number of boos from down below. A minute 22 to go until the end of the first quarter here, and we've got a 7-0 ball game. John Burroughs leading. And they've got the football back, and something that Coach Tom Hodge didn't want to see is Burroughs with the football as long as they've had it here in this first quarter. They have dominated play. They come out of the huddle with Chip Walton still at quarterback. Wide receiver to the left side is David White. Single set back is Greg Smith. He gets the pitch. Smith with the football. He's got some room. He turns the corner. He breaks a tackle across midfield to the 45 and inside to the 44. And tackled there by Jason Hemmer, the outside linebacker.
Mac Whitehead did a good job right there. He filled the gap and he helped him out on the tackle, but there's a lot of yardage there on those plays. Seneca's really got a hold of them. This is exactly what John Burroughs is wanting to do, and they're going to have to get him to 3rd and long, 2nd long, and 6-7 yards on first down is just going to be too much.
They are so big and strong in the middle, it's going to be difficult to slow them down. Wide receiver to the right, 2nd down and 4. They give it up the middle to fullback with the football. He just barrels through. Rogers got the first down inside the Seneca 40-yard line. That is just nothing but strength with the football there.
Oh, that was John Burroughs' strength against Seneca's weakness, and it was just right up the middle. And it didn't look like there was anything there, but after the chains were marked, he got 6 yards on the carry.
Across the front for the Bombers, you've got the 2 guards, 245 and 240. And boy, they sure can open some holes for the running backs. First down and 10 for the Bombers, leading 7-0 here in the first quarter with a second to go. And that's the end of the quarter. The play is in motion. They give it to White, and White is tackled in the backfield. That's the end of the first quarter. With our score, the John Burroughs 7, Seneca nothing. You're listening to the Class 2A semifinals. Far looks like with the way field conditions down there, both teams are going to keep it on the ground, and Burroughs using much of that clock in the first quarter, just eating up the clock. Scoring when they need to. Walter with the football. He's going to keep it on the option play. He's at the 30. He's at the 25. And tackled by Troy McDaniel. And also in there on the stop is Mac Whitehead, the free safety. And I'll tell you what, Walter just about broke the big one.
Yeah, he made some good moves there. Seneca had about 2 broken tackles on that play. They could have probably held him to about 2 yards. But he made some nice moves out there in the wet field.
All he did was just keep that football on the option play and run to his right, and we've got the crew coming in from the other side to measure to see if he picked up enough for the first down. As they stretch out the chains, it's going to be close. And it's going to be short about 6 inches. So second down and short, and boy, those are the kind of situation coaches love.
That's the kind of situation John Burroughs' coaches love.
You're right. 6 and short, you can do anything you want to with the football. You got 2 free plays there. So the blue and gold of Burroughs dominating the ground game here with the strength of their offensive line and the running backs. And they come to the line of scrimmage with a third down and inches out of the wishbone. Walter keeps it. He lowers his head, drives the legs, and he's got the first down. As they will spot the football close to the Seneca 25-yard line.
He's just running right behind that big line. That's about all he can do. That's all he needs to do.
That's all you need to do. When you got Gateway and Mulligan, 245 and 240 pounds, and 175-pound Josh Roman, an all-state center in front of you, just take the football and go with it. Nothing fancy here. They just run out of the wishbone, and they do an excellent job of using the clock. This time they line the eye with wide receivers left and right. Walter will bend under center and bark off the signals, and he almost dropped the football. Options right. He keeps it. He turns upfield down to the 20-yard line, and white shirts converge on him there. And a tackle made by Travis Smith, and I stop him there, but it's going to be second down and 7 to go. John Burroughs, 9-2 under head coach Jim Lehman. They finished third in the ABC conference, if you can believe that. Of course, everybody in their conference, I think, 3A school. They lost to Country Day, and they lost to Prioria. Here's the pitch near side, and Smith's got it. Now he reverses the field, and a nice tackle in there as they knock his legs out from under him and get him down.
Seneca was stacked to that side of the field, and they read that one right. It's a great play by the defensive ends out there.
Matt Stope, one of the defenders, knocked him down. And it'll be third down, loss of a little bit of yardage on the play. Third down and 7 to go. We've got a timeout on the field, and we'll take this timeout with a score. John Burroughs 7, Seneca nothing. Here in the first half with the score, John Burroughs leading Seneca 7-0. Burroughs with the football. At the Seneca 21-yard line. Seneca fans down below, and the cheerleaders trying to make some noise and get the Seneca defense inspired. Here's the pass play. Walter in the flat for his fullback, Rogers, incomplete as he overthrows Rogers at the Seneca 10-yard line.
That was a good-looking play. He was there. He just overthrew him by just a little bit. If he caught that one, that was a touchdown.
So they will bring the play in as Clark brings the play in from the bench, and head coach Jim Lemon. They send David White to the left side of the field, and the slot back this time will be the fullback Rogers. Single set back is Smith. As Walter back to throw again, looks upfield, gets a rush in the flat. It's almost caught by Smith and drops it. So they go on fourth down, and the Seneca Indians will take over.
Well, Seneca needed that. They couldn't let them score again. This is a different team than the Warsaw bunch that we played against a couple weeks ago. I don't think we could stand to get down 3 touchdowns to these guys. They're just too physical. They're just too big.
So Seneca will take the football. They trail 7-0 here in the first half. And they've got it at their own 21-yard line. Quarterback Jared Whitehead 150-pound sophomore will lead them up in the I formation with Cummings in the backfield, and he gets the football. And he shakes loose of one tackler and runs it out to the 25 and tackle there. Getting up on the bottom of the pile, number 64. And that is Andy Wolf.
John Burroughs has all 11 men within 10 yards of the football. So Seneca can get their linebackers to commit to the run. They might be able to throw a play action pass for some yardage, but right now they have all 11 men actually within 9 yards of the football.
They have not tried the play action as yet. And we got a penalty, and somebody on the left side of the offensive line jumped, and that will be a penalty against Seneca, a motion penalty. High school passes. Today's game won the contest, which leads to the Show Me States football playoffs. This year's Class 1A, 2A, 5A state football championship games will be held November 29th and 30th at Faroe Field in Columbia. Attend Show Me Bowl 91 and see high school football at its best. For ticket information, contact your local State Farm agent or see one of the officials here at today's game. Message brought to you by the Missouri High School Activities Association and KBTN Radio. Seneca set to go after the playoff. Hoover football across the 32. Nice run by Jim Hoover over the right side. Picks up. They spot the football. They're going to bring in the chains to measure for the first down.
Jim did a good job following those blockers for about the first 5 yards, and the rest of it, he did that on his own. He's just big.
They will bring in the chains and measure for the first down, and while they do, we'll take this time out. You're listening to Seneca Indian football.
Yeah.
30 seconds. It'll be third down, less than a foot to go for 1st and 10 as Seneca will go here, and the quarterback keeper, I don't know if he made it or not, Darren.
Well, like they were right there.
They stood him up and pushed him back.
I think they gave Seneca a pretty good spot on that.
Well, they need a good spot here. First down, Seneca. Eight minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first half. John Burroughs scoring with 5:37 to go in the first quarter on a Greg Smith 7-yard touchdown run, and Rob Rogers on the extra point. Seneca would like to tie it up before halftime. They are running right into the teeth of a strong north wind, and John Burroughs just about got the handoff. Matt Whitehead, he still picks up a nice gain on the play out to the 38-yard line. That defensive back almost took the handoff.
Well, I tell you what, they're totally committing to the run. As soon as on the snap of the ball, everybody's rushing in. But that was a great play by Mack to pick the ball up and still get yardage out of it. He still got 6 yards out of it.
Nice gain by Whitehead. As Seneca will break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Hoover and Cummings in the backfield behind Jared Whitehead. They give it to Hoover, and the fullback belts over the middle, maybe a yard.
It really looks like Coach Hodge just decided to, for the while anyway, to just run the ball north and south instead of east and west, because this field is in such bad conditions. Cheyenne's only run the ball 5 times for about 12 yards, and usually with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, he'd already have 2 to 3 times that.
An official's timeout on the field. Another equipment change. Well, the folks are bundled up down below, and I'll tell you what, anybody sitting out in this one today, you're a football fan, aren't you?
Or something like that.
Or something like that. A lot of hot chocolate and hot coffee going around the stands. Players are muddy. This is what football is all about, right down there in the mud. I guess they've got some problems with the, clock? Now we're set to go as they blow the whistle. 3rd down, 3 for Seneca. 1st down by 7. They give it up the middle and nothing there. And maybe, yeah.
Oh,
that's Cummings.
Cheyenne
and
all
breaks through for the 1st down. Looked like they gave it to Hoover, but it was Cummings on the fake. And he's got the 1st down for Seneca at the 44-yard line.
They stood him up on the line, and he made a spin move, and that was just, it's Cheyenne at his best right there.
He took some licks in the Willow Springs game that would have put the average football player out for the rest of the season, but he bounces right back. He is tough. 1st down and 10, Whitehead in motion to the left. Jared, the pitch to Cummings, running to his right. Cummings inside, down to the 47-yard line. Warriors tackle picked up about 3 yards on the carry. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 to go for an Indian 1st down. The team came up last night and stayed nearby and came on out to the ballpark this morning. 2nd down and 7 for a 1st down. Cheyenne Cummings on the reverse play, and he's going to be stood up, knocked back, bounces off of the would-be tackler, still going to lose yards. Boy, that was super effort by Cummings that time, but he just couldn't shake loose and find an opening to break through. The 3rd down now and about 8 yards to go, so he lost a yard on the play.
John Burroughs has some quick linebackers. I'll tell you what, they're coming up on every play, and they're there as soon as Seneca gets the ball.
They are quick. Simmons and Rogers are the inside linebackers. We told you about Simmons. He's the son of St. Louis Cardinal former catcher Ted Simmons. Back to pass Whitehead. He's got Whitehead out in the open. Oh, almost intercepted. Back there on the play was Matt Donnie, and Donnie had it in his hands and dropped it. Ooh, that was close. If he had caught that football, it would have been 12-0 that quick.
And he had nothing but open field ahead of him.
So that's 4th down. The Indians will have to punt the football. Walther will drop back and to receive the punt from the toe of Whitehead. Low snap on the ground. Now he picks it up, gets a rush, gets it away, but a wobbly kick off the side of his foot. And it's going to go out of bounds inside the John Burroughs 40-yard line. So a bad snap. He did well just to get the punt away, but Burroughs will have good field position.
Seneca only gained about 13 yards out of that. This is going to be a game of field position. They need to back John Burroughs up. John Burroughs has been in control so far.
That wind continues to blow steadily out of the northwest. As the Bombers come to the line of scrimmage with their quarterback, Chip Walter. Rogers, Smith, and White in the backfield. This time they line up in the I formation. They snap the football. They go to Greg Smith, and he's hit after a yard gain. Kelly in there on the tackle, and Smith to stop Smith.
Kelly Smith did a good job there, but it looked like Charlie Huff. He's standing the center up, and the center can't go anywhere, and that's giving the other guys a chance to get in and wrap him up, and that's what Seneca's going to have to do.
4 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the first half. John Burroughs leading Seneca 7-0 here. They scored in the first quarter on a Smith 7-yard touchdown run. They set White out to the right. Now they put him in motion back to the left. Long count. Walther to Rogers. Hit hard by Hembry. But a nice gain on the play as he drives inside up close to the 48-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down for John Burroughs. About 4 yards for a 1st and 10. They need to get just inside Seneca territory at the 49-yard line for a 1st down. 4 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the first half. Well, the teams have kept the football on the ground pretty much here this afternoon, and the old clock continues to spin. Wide receiver right. White. This time, Walter gives to Smith. He charges over the right side and keeps going. He's got the first down. They just cannot get him down as he stayed on his feet, drove it out for the first down.
That's a case right there where the footing actually hurt the defense. They had him stood up, but then the lineman from Burroughs seemed to keep pushing, and Seneca was backpedaling. That's their sixth first down.
Straight up in front is what was the determining factor in that first down, with Mulligan, Gateway, and they kept the legs moving. They drove it out for the first down inside Seneca territory, 47-yard line. 3:24 to go, and Seneca may not see the football this half again unless they get a break here. Walther with Smith set back. Walther to throw. Over the middle it is. Caught. Tight end with the catch. And it's a first down inside the 40-yard line of Seneca.
It's a great hit there by Mac Whitehead. He almost made him fumble the ball, but almost isn't good enough right now.
Junior Swope Clark made the catch at the Seneca 35-yard line. Bombers lead 7-0. Seneca hasn't seen the football a whole lot here in the first half. Here's the give. Smith backpedaling, turns right, a penalty marker down. Tackled by Cheyenne Cummings as a penalty marker on the field, as the officials get together to discuss the penalty. Holding John Burroughs. And I believe that's the first penalty this afternoon for John Burroughs.
Yes, it is. Comes at a big time, too, with 2:50 left in the second quarter. Seneca needs to do anything they can to back them up.
Time of possession here in the first half has been in the favor of John Burroughs. They took the football on the opening kickoff, drove it down and scored, using up 7 minutes almost of the first quarter. And they've had it pretty much here in the second period, about the same amount of time.
Seneca needs a turnover right here. We need something to swing the momentum, because right now Seneca's really down.
Chip Walter has the Bombers set. First down, 15. Walter keeps the ball, does a nice move to get around one would-be tackler and takes it down inside the 45-yard line.
He hurdled Jim Hoover as Jim came in to make the tackle.
Yeah.
Jim slid right before he got to him, and just as Jim was breaking down, quarterback just hurdled over him and went on for about 6-7 more yards.
It's going to be second down and 12 for a first down for John Burroughs. Walter has rushed for 400 yards. He's had 160 yards in the last 2 ball games, 4 touchdowns. This time Walter to throw. Looks for a receiver. Guns it over the middle. Oh, it's intercepted by McDaniel at the 30, at the 32-yard line. That tackle.
That's exactly what they needed. It was tipped. It was tipped twice, in fact. Oh, it couldn't have come at a better time.
I don't know how many people touched that football, but it finally wound up in the hands of Troy McDaniel, cornerback for Seneca, and they've got the ball back at the 31-yard line. I think the hands are so cold down below, Darren, that the tomahawk chop hasn't been in effect yet this afternoon.
They haven't had too much to chop about so far.
You're right, they've been chopped pretty good here so far. First down 10. Maybe this will inspire. Cheyenne Cummings carries the football out for a couple of yards, and he is descended upon by a bunch of blue shirts.
Burroughs is just really controlling the defensive line. Seneca can't seem to get anything off the snap. I think he got about 3 yards on the carry.
Matt Storage, 225-pound junior on that tackle. He's accredited with 15 quarterback sacks this year. Cheyenne Cummings, he's got some room over the right side, across the 35 up to the 40-yard line, and tackled there by David White. And it'll be a A timeout on the field. With 45 seconds to go in the first half, we'll take this timeout. You're listening to Class 2A semifinal football. 45 seconds remaining in the first half from Moss Field in Webster Grove. Seneca with the football, third down, a yard. Here's the pitch, going to flea flicker. Cheyenne Cummings guns it long and deep from Matt Whitehead. He had him out there, but overthrew him at the 30-yard line. Boy, he's got a gun, hasn't he?
He was there.
Left-handed, right on target.
He threw that ball 40 yards across the field.
Across field.
On the drive, into the wind.
That would have been nice, but it fell incomplete.
Well, Matt got out there. He couldn't seem to get his footing. He was going after the ball, but they were covering him. They had two people on him.
Anytime you cut on that field down there today, you're gonna slip. So it's fourth down. They'll go here with a yard to go. They give it to Hoover, and I believe he's got the first down. Hoover, the ball carrier, he's got the first down. 33 seconds to go. Well, they need another big play here.
They're going to bring the chains in.
Going to measure for the first down. A lot of folks made the trip to St. Louis today or yesterday, and we passed a lot of people coming up here this morning with the signs in their windows. It's first down, Seneca, with about a football length to spare. They trail 7-0 here as we come to the end of the first half. Be nice for a touchdown, but it's going to have to come here in the next play or two.
Clock's
they
over.
Come out of the huddle. Jared Whitehead, the quarterback. Eye backs behind him are Hoover and Cummings. And he's going to give it to Cummings, and Cummings going to be stood up. And Andy Wolf along there to stand him up along the line of scrimmage and drop him, and also in the tackle is Brennan Mulligan. And a couple of all-state backs there to bring Cheyenne Cummings to the ground. You know, this John Burroughs football team is very, very young. There are a lot of juniors and sophomores on this team. They're a 2A school, so Seneca won't have to mess with them anymore after this year, because Seneca will go to 3A next year. Burroughs will remain at 2A. Private school here in the St. Louis area. They play some tough teams in their ABC conference up here in St. Louis. Play all of the schools here in the area. They've lost 2 games this year to Country Day and Priora. So we're set to go. 11 seconds on the scoreboard clock. Second down, 9 to go for a Seneca Indian. First down. They would like to score here before intermission. Straight back to throw is Whitehead. Looks for a receiver, gets a rush, gets decked, and throws the interception. With the ball is Rob Rogers across midfield down to the Seneca 48-yard line. Well, I tell you what, he threw that one from almost out of his back as he had 2 blue-shirted John Burroughs defenders right in his chest. So John Burroughs now calls a timeout with 2 seconds remaining. We'll take a break. You're listening to Class 2A semifinal football. Welcome back to St. Louis. Dean Welcher along with Darren Burr. 2 seconds to go in the first half, and John Burroughs has it first down and 10 at the Seneca 48-yard line, leading 7-0. So this will be the last play of the half here. Mather will bend under center, I formation in the backfield. And he's going to throw the football as he drops back to throw. Runs out of the pocket, down the far sideline at the 35-30, cuts back to the middle, at the 30, at the 20. He's going to be run out of bounds inside the Seneca 20-yard line, but the half comes to a close here. As the teams head to the locker room here at Webster Groves High School in this Class 2A semifinal, with the John Burroughs Bombers leading Seneca 7-0. warm up. Well, you got to do a little bit of moving around down there just to stay warm on a day like this. So we're set to go. Reminder that Show Me Bowl 91, the Show Me State once again in the grips of football fever. The championship this year at Faurot Field in Columbia on December the 29th and 30th in Class 1A, 2A, and 5A. Enjoying it this afternoon at home in your nice, warm living rooms, your soft, easy chairs. And, you're right. The weather is rough in St. Louis, as I'm sure it is down in the southwest part of the state. The captains are meeting in the center of the field. Captains for John Burroughs, Rob Rogers, along with Chip Walker, Andy Wolf, and Brad Mulligan for the Seneca Indians. Their captains are Thomas Kelly and Charlie Huff. So Seneca will receive the football, and they will run with the wind at their back here in the third quarter. And they'll put Burroughs facing the wind.
Seneca really needs to do something right here. On this first drive, start off the third quarter, they've got to establish their running game, and I think they're going to go to Cummings as much as they can. I'm sure they made some adjustments as to John Burroughs at halftime, and I still think the play action pass is there if they can execute the fake well, and if John Burroughs is really committing to the run, and they've got to find Ball's club. And right now Cheyenne's really having a hard time turning the corner in this field, but that's
Tim Levy will kick off for John Burroughs. Troy McDaniels is deep for Seneca. Here comes the boot. It's high, angling to the right side of the field. Taken on Matt Whitehead at the 15-yard line. He's across the 20, out to the 25, up to the 30, to the 31-yard line, and gang tackled at the 31-yard line.
This is a nice run by Mack. He got about 13 yards on it. John Burroughs collapsed right on him in the middle of the field.
First and 10 for Seneca at the 32-yard line. Let's see who comes out. Quarterback. It's going to be Jared Whitehead with Jim Hoover and Cheyenne Cummings in the backfield. They send Kelly in motion to the left, and they give it to Cummings over the left side. He stood up after a gain on the play of about 2 yards and pushed back. Gets up off of the bottom of that pile for John Burroughs. Big number 5, getting up off of there is David White, the outside linebacker. It'll be second down, a gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 7, Thomas Kelly will come to the right. High formation for Seneca as Whitehead will bend under. Cummings hits the line of scrimmage, and boy, he just goes into an absolute stone wall.
Well, Seneca's offensive line couldn't get on track there. John Burroughs just stood him up, and then linebackers just filled the holes. Seneca's trying to kick out there, but John Burroughs' nose man's lining up in the gap on the center, and they're trying to run the opposite side of him, and their linebackers are just pursuing on the other side. They're doing a good job of filling up the gap.
Third down and 6 here for Seneca at the 36-yard line. Kelly is the wide receiver, set right, and got an official's timeout. They spot the football, wind the clock, and we're set to go. High formation for Seneca. Third down and 6 play coming up for Whitehead. Cheyenne Cummings bouncing outside, and then is hit hard, comes loose with the football, and we'll see who's got it. And Cheyenne Cummings will maintain control of the football. I don't know what Charlie Huff may have recovered it. So it'll be fourth down, and the Indians will have to kick the football. And dropping back is Jared Whitehead to do the punt. Back for John Burroughs will be Chip Walter. And sliced off the side of his foot. And it will be down by Seneca at midfield. So it will be John Burroughs football, first down and 10 at midfield football was shanked on the punt by Jared Whitehead.
It's just a 15-yard punt. You know that football is hard right now, and this is a game of field position right now. John Burroughs is up 7-0. There's 9 minutes left. And Seneca needs to push him back right here.
They line up in the wishbone. Chip Walther will bend under center and make the pitch to the left side. Is Smith. Big hole. He bounces out across the 45-yard line. Matt Whitehead on the tackle to stop Greg Smith.
That's a great run by Smith. There wasn't anything there, and he just made an awesome cut right off the block.
We told you in the pregame show that Greg Smith is the son of former St. Louis Cardinal football player, tight end Jackie Smith. And up in front of him on the line is Matt Simmons, the son of St. Louis Cardinal great catcher Ted Simmons. So here comes Smith again on the carry. Left side. He's got about 3 yards and going to be close, about a yard short of a first down. The uniforms are mud-caked. Only third down, a yard, a little over a yard to go for a first down. For the Bombers in their blue uniforms, gold lettering and gold helmets. Seneca in the muddy white, trimmed in blue, or trimmed in red.
Well, John Burroughs does a good job of taking care of the ball and also the clock. I mean, they're waiting till the last 2 or 3 seconds before they snap it every time. But
they just don't make those silly mistakes that cost you football games so far. Third down, less than that. Diving over the top of the first down. Now keeping it is Walker. And he's sacked for a loss back near midfield.
Well, Seneca was really fortunate there.
In there on the stop with Kelly. Well, that backfired. I was talking about making the mistakes, and they made one. As it backfired, they gave it on the fake, on the dive of Walker, and forces it into a fourth down situation. Fourth down, about 6, and they will punt. As Walker will drop back in deep punt formation. High snap, pulls it down, gets the kick away into the wind. A nice kick. Whitehead at the 15-yard line. Finds a seam up the right side. He's out across the 35, up to the 40, up to the 22-yard line. Comes back Whitehead on the run back. Well, that was a break that Seneca needed. For a little momentum back in their direction. They've got the football in decent field position if they can just move it against this big defense of John Burroughs. They trail 7-0 here in the third quarter. The ball at the 41-yard line. Jared Whitehead, the quarterback, will bend under center. He gives to Cummings. Big hole. He's over the left side. He's in the 45, up to the 50-yard line.
Seneca's offensive line really exploded off the ball that time. Looks like they're getting a little bit fired up. The sidelines are getting wound up, and that's what they need. They need to swing the momentum a little bit.
Well, they look like a different football team coming out here in the third quarter. It's second down. A yard to go for an Indian first down. And the Seneca fans down to our left getting into this football game. All right, they'll spot the football at the 49-yard line. The cry of go, go, go.
This is the time to do it right here. This is what Seneca wants to see. Second and short.
High formation backfield for the Indians. Whitehead looks left and right over the defense, gives to Hoover. Hoover, he's got the first down. He's across midfield down to the 48-yard line. Getting off of the bottom of that stack for John Burroughs, number 38, is Rogers, who made the tackle.
That was a great block in there by Eddie Snow. Eddie Snow really kicked his guy out. Hoover just followed him in there behind for about 3-yard pickup.
First and 10 for Seneca at the 38-yard line of John Burroughs, trending by 7 here in the third quarter. First time in this ball game that Seneca's had the football in good field position. Whitehead on the keeper, and maybe a yard on the play. The ball came loose, was covered by Mulligan, but the play was blown dead. Second down, a yard gain on the play. It'll be 9 for a first down.
It's going to really be hard to run that option today. The field's so wet.
You just cannot make a cut out there on that football field. It is mushy. Just straight north and south runs about all you're going to get on this field. They give it to Hoover. Straight ahead, over the middle. Got a good gate on the play. A pickup of about 3-4 yards. And off the bottom of the pile, number 55. And that's Katrovich making the stop for John Burroughs. 3rd down and 5 play coming up here for Seneca. Burroughs scored the first time they had the football in the first period after a long drive. It was Greg Smith, 7-yard touchdown run. Has been the only score in this football game so far. Whitehead option left, pitches Cummings. He almost fumbled the football, bobbled it, then got control of it and tackled after a yard gain.
That was just a good play by Cheyenne, just to keep hold of the ball right there. I think Seneca's going to have to go with the inside game. It looks like Cheyenne and Jim can both get a few yards up the middle. And right now, John Burroughs on any kind of pitch or options, just stringing them out to the sidelines. And it's just too difficult to make a cut. It's too difficult for the lineman to get up there and make a good block.
4th down play. Seneca looking like they're going to punt the football as Whitehead is back in deep punt formation. There's the snap, and he does boot it. High, spiral, fair catch call for by Raffer at the 20-yard line.
It's a 22-yard punt.
John Burroughs with the football with 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. They lead 7-0 here at Webster Groves. Bombers football, first down and 10 yards to go from the road 21-yard line. Out of the wishbone, Chip Walther bends under center. With the ball, he rolls option play, makes the pitch, it's on the ground, picked up by Seneca, I think. We'll wait and see, the ball was fumbled.
Seneca had it, and when they jumped on it, it came out from underneath them.
Lost it.
Oh, what a break that would have been. It's on 15.
On the 15-yard line. Had it for a moment, lost it, and Bombers got it back.
Jim Hoover was blitzing on that play. He was just deciding the count, and he was right there as soon as the ball was snapped. He's the one that caused it. He's the one that forced it, but Seneca was very unfortunate right there.
Didn't get the break there, but the Bombers will get it back, and they've got it at the 16-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. And 15 yards to go for a first down. In the wishbone. Waffer makes the pitch to Smith. He was tackled after a 2-yard gain. Left side, nothing there.
Cheyenne Cummings came up, and I mean, he filled the hole. There was a hole there as soon as Smith got the ball, and Cheyenne just stuck him hard.
Defensively, Seneca playing much better here in the third quarter.
It's 3rd and long. These are the situations Seneca wants to put John Burroughs in. They just got to capitalize now. They got to keep them down here pushed into their own end.
Then officials time out on the field. Equipment adjustment. John Burroughs leading 7-0, faced with a 3rd and long situation here. Seneca dropping their secondary back to defend against the pass. But the way they run the football, I wouldn't bet on the passing here at all. In the wishbone. Here comes John Burroughs. Walther, option play. Walther with the football on the keeper. Running outside, the ball comes loose. It's on the ground.
Seneca's got it.
Seneca's got it.
Oh, what a hit. What a hit.
Big time hit.
Mac Whitehead and Thomas Kelly, and I mean, they stuck him.
Indians football at the John Burroughs 22-yard line, first down 10.
Here comes tomahawk chop, Dean.
Don't count them out just yet. 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And there comes the tomahawk chop. Back to throw. Whitehead. He throws it deep. Intended for McDaniel. It's incomplete at the goal line. Boy, he had some defenders back there. It did not fool the Burroughs Bombers at all. They had 3 defenders all around Troy McDaniel. It'll be second down and 10. You sure don't want to throw it up an interception here. Here comes the play. Cheyenne Cummings, left side, breaks 1 tackle and is pushed back at the 20-yard line. Getting up off the bottom of the pile for the Burroughs Bombers, number 38, Rob Rogers. So it's going to be third down and 7 here for Seneca first down. They got the football on the fumble. Tried to capitalize on John Burroughs, one of their few mistakes this afternoon. High formation backfield for Whitehead. Option right side. He keeps it, turns in, and gains to about the 16-yard line. And that's going to bring up a big fourth down play for Seneca and Tom Hodge. Well, if you had a field goal kicker, you're right in the middle of the field. But they're going to go fourth down here, about 3 yards to go. You can hear what the crowd says. High formation, Whitehead.
Oh, he's got it.
Hoover to the 5. Hoover down over the goal line.
Well, they're keying on Cheyenne on that play. You can see everybody going with Cheyenne. And Jim's just busted it up with it.
That's here. John Burroughs. Seneca, first and goal. They're going to mark it at the 5-yard line.
Well, I just keep going to Hoover right here up the middle. I'd make him stop him before I quit going to him.
They come out of the head left of the line of scrimmage in the I formation, and we got motion on the line. Motion on the offensive line, and boy, you sure don't need that there.
No, it's a bad timing for
Tom
this.
Hodge, not liking that at all. So a 5-yard penalty is being marked off against Seneca. That will move the football back just outside the 10-yard line. First and goal for Seneca, their first big break, the deepest penetration in the ball game. Seneca at the 11-yard line of John Burroughs, trailing 7-0. 56 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Whitehead has him set in the eye. Cummings, right side, Cummings, 5, Cummings! He's going to be close. The ball comes loose. They're going to spot it for Cummings' touchdown. As the ball came out, it was covered by David White of John Burroughs, but it's going to be Seneca football. And it's second and goal. The Indians have got it at the 1-yard line.
It's Jim Hoover territory right now, Dean. I think you got to go to him.
Well, now, this is a question for you. If they score here, do they go for 2 to take the lead? Naturally.
Yeah.
Touchdown. 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Out of the eye. Whitehead. Hoover. No indication yet.
It's close.
Whitehead to Hoover. And that's the end of the third quarter, so they'll go down on the other end of the field with a score. John Burroughs 7, Seneca driving. Back in a moment, you're listening to Class 2A Championship Football. John Burroughs leading Seneca 7-0 as we begin the fourth period of play. Seneca with the football at the Burroughs 1-yard line, third down and goal. Well, this is it. This could well be the ball game here for Seneca. They line up. Out of the eye with Whitehead. Under center. His eye backs are Hoover and Cummings. They go to Cummings, left side, Cummings cuts in, touchdown!
David Griffin and Jim Hoover did awesome blocks on that. They just made some really nice blocks. They kicked the John Burroughs ends out.
Cheyenne Cummings from 1 yard away. And they go for 2 to take the lead here in the I formation. Whitehead has them set. Jump before the snap. They get it down. They give it to Cummings. And is he in? Yes!
Momentum has swung, Dean. Momentum has swung. I mean, this place is going nuts. I wouldn't count John Burroughs out. These guys look like they're pretty determined. They got a good ball team.
There is timeout on the field. And pandemonium with the Seneca fans. The Indians lead the Bombers. Welcome back to Moss Field in Webster Groves. I'm Dean Welch along with Darren Burrow, and the Seneca Indians have just taken the lead for the first time in the ball game, and here's the kickoff. It gets through the feet of one of the Bombers, picked up by Walther at the 30, 35, 36. The ball is loose, covered by John Burroughs. At the 37-yard line, the Bombers have it. They trail by 1.
Seneca wants to come out right now and stop him. I believe John Burroughs is going to go back to what got him here the first half. I look for him to start running the ball more up the middle like they did at the beginning of the game. Use that offensive line.
Trying to use up the clock and grind it out. 11:45 still. Lots of time on the clock. Seneca's trailed up until 11:56 here in the fourth quarter. Here's the pitch. Chip Walther with the football. He turns inside, carries it loose, gets a couple of yards. Boy, I tell you what, carrying that football like he did on that play is pretty dangerous this afternoon, as wet as it is out here. It's going to be second down and about 6 to go for a first down.
Seneca defense putting a lot more pressure on them than they did the first half. That was a good run by the quarterback, though.
Excellent run.
He's palming the ball like carrying it in one hand. That's a little bit dangerous down here in this territory, but it's okay with us.
As cold as it is. Second down and 6. Walther now in the I formation. Walther, option play right side, pitches to Smith. Oh, he almost fumbled. Gets control. Is tackled by Hoover.
Well, Big Jim Hoover puts the pressure on. He's blitzing on every single play. He's starting from about 3 yards back. And he's just timing it just as soon as the ball snapped, and he's back there in the backfield.
A loss of 2 on the play, back to the 37-yard line. It'll be third down 9 for a Bomber first down, and the old no has swung in favor of the Indians. They're doing a much better job defensively, certainly offensively, here in the second half. John Burroughs looking at third down and 9, and a penalty marker of maybe too much time. Yeah, too much time. Burroughs will be penalized.
This is supposed to be John Burroughs' home field, but I guarantee you there's more people here from Seneca than there is from St. Louis.
Yeah, there is this afternoon.
It sounds like we're playing in Seneca.
Yeah, it's a little loud. Well, they've been sitting on their hands for a long time in this one, Darren. It's the first time in this ball game they've had a reason to get up.
Now, this is a big play right here. Third and long. They've got to hold them.
Out of the I formation, Chip Walther looks over the defensive Seneca, barks off the signals, drops back, wants to throw. Screen pass. Oh, Rogers catches it. Up at 20, 25, 30. Tackle. He was lucky he didn't drop the football. Smith put a hit on him. He was hit in the backfield, got away from one tackle, and it brings up fourth down.
That play didn't fool anybody. Seneca's linebackers just did an awesome job right there. They read the play all the way.
Raffer will kick. Mac Whitehead back to receive. Nice belt-high snap, and he gets the kick end over end away. Bounces at the 50, at the 40, and tackled by Whitehead at the 35, and wanted a late hit there and didn't get the signal, and Whitehead gets shaken up on the play.
It was an extremely late hit. I'm surprised there wasn't a call on that one. Coach Hodges.
No penalty marker down, and Coach Hodges is a bit upset about it. The player came in extremely late, hit Whitehead, but there was no penalty marker down, and so that's the way to stand. First down and 10 at the 36-yard line. Seneca ahead, 8-7, 9:14 to go in this football game. Out of the I formation, they give the football to Cheyenne Cummings, this time to Hoover. He tries the right tackle, maybe a yard on the play. The winner goes to Shoney Bowl in Columbia on the 29th. The loser, the season is over.
The John Burroughs defensive line has done a good job today. They're really aggressive, and they're quicker than they look, I believe.
Yes, they are.
They look big and slow, and they're not.
Whitehead gives off to Cummings, finds a little seam over the left side and runs out ahead for 3 yards. Going to be his third down. And it's going to be short. Hoover leading the blocking on the play. Third down, 2 yards to go for Seneca first down. .8:05 to go in the ballgame. Seneca up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. Here's the give to Hoover. Hoover's got the first down. He's across the 45 up near the 47-yard line. Jim Hoover has got the first down for the Indians, and they move the chains. The move out of this football game has changed since the first half.
I like it much better. It's a lot more fun this way, I guarantee you.
A lot more fun, you're right. And you can see down below that the tomahawk chop is in effect right now. First down 10, Seneca, and Cheyenne Cummings right side, trying to turn the corner, and they knock him out of bounds. Right at midfield, it'll be Cummings out of bounds, and now Seneca needs to practice some ball control. Here's the clock, pick up some first downs. They only had 4 in the first half.
It hurt to get out of bounds there. We'd like to see that clock keep rolling, but...
Second down, 8 yards to go. Whether that 1 point will be enough to win this one or not, we'll know. I formation. Cheyenne Cummings, a big hole opens over the middle. Cummings across midfield down to the 44-yard line of John Burroughs. But there's a flag in the backfield. It's going to be illegal motion against Seneca. Tough break there. As Cummings with the big hole, the big run. It's all going to come back.
Penalties hurt this late in the game. Penalties and turnovers. It hurt John Burroughs last time down the field. They had a big holding call that hurt them, and Seneca gets it right back right now.
Well, right now they're keeping the John Burroughs offense off the field, and that's certainly what they want to do. The Greg Smith standing along the sideline down below with helmet in hand, wanting to get back onto the field for John Burroughs. As long as he's on the sideline, he can't score a touchdown. Second down and 11 yards for first and 10 for the Indians. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Darren, if this game stays the way it is and they win, I hope it's a lot warmer in Columbia the day after Thanksgiving than it is here today. Here's the give to Jim Hoover, and maybe a yard on the play, not much more. So here's a fourth down coming up for Seneca. Oh, it's third down. Third down, about 10 yards to go.
7 minutes left in the game. The clock's going down. Seneca needs a first down here. They could really put the pressure on John Burroughs.
Big play, third down, and 10 yards to go for first down. They give it to Cheyenne Cummings. He breaks through, but not enough for the first down. He picked up 5. It's going to be short, about 3. Storch on the tackle, 4th down, 3 to go. Snowflakes beginning to fly once again here in St. Louis this afternoon. Jared Whitehead drops back in deep punt formation. Don't count on it here, folks. John Burroughs doesn't believe a whole lot of it, but he does punt it. And gets a beauty, a beauty. He gets up to 5, but rolls into the end zone. Oh, I mean, he hit a boomer.
Into the wind.
Into the wind.
43-yard punt there by Jared Whitehead. And he almost angled that ball right out of bounds.
It'll come out to the 20 where it'll be John Burroughs football. 6 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the game, and Seneca leading 8-7. Well, it boils down to this. The defense can hold them here, get the football back. This could be the last time Burroughs gets the football. Chip Walter bends under center, the team in the wishbone. On the hip, Walter keeps the football. He breaks a tackle. He breaks another. He's to the 30, 31-yard line. Jim Hoover and Matt Whitehead team up to bring him down at the 31-yard line.
What he's doing is he's keeping the ball. He's running with the fullback, and then as soon as someone gets ready to tackle the fullback, he yanks the ball out and uses him as a blocker.
Yeah.
And it's worked up to this point. That was a nice 11-yard run.
First down 10 for John Burroughs at the 31-yard line. And they are set to go. 5:55 left in the ball game. Now don't forget, they've got an excellent field goal kicker. Here's the give, and this time, nice hole opens up over the middle for the left halfback, David White. A gain of 5 on the play. And their long field goal kicker, of course, is Jim Leedy. He's their long field goal kicker. Rob Rogers takes care of the short field goals and the extra points. So they do have that capability, and they've got the wind at their back. So 5:21, they've got lots of time. Here comes the blitz. They get it to Smith. Smith left side. He breaks one. He's got the first down. Out near the 48-yard line comes Greg Smith.
Well, John Burroughs' line really did a good job. I mean, they're sprinting up to the ball from the huddle, and they're lining up, and they're going at it right now.
That offensive line of John Burroughs across the front, averaging about 230 pounds. Really doing an excellent job. 5:03 left, Seneca 8. John Burroughs 7. Burroughs with the football, first down 10 at their own 48-yard line. Big stack up at the line of scrimmage. Big stick in there by Seneca's Jim Hoover and Thomas Kelly. And nothing much there. Second down, and call it 9.5 for a first down. Well, I thought the Warsaw game was good, but this one in the cold in St. Louis has been a pretty good football game this afternoon, Darren Burr. They send David White, the wide receiver, out to the right side. Burroughs running with the wind at their back here in the fourth period. There's a snap fumble, and Walter, I believe, jumped on his own fumble. That ball laid on the ground. Chip Walter jumped on it. But what that does is bring up a third down and 10 yards to go. And the clock now with 4 minutes, under 4 minutes. So this is a big third down for John Burroughs as well as the defense of Seneca. White comes to the right. They line up in the eye with Rogers and Smith, the tailback. Walter with the football. Back to pass. Guns it. Oh, Rogers drops it. Threw low and outside. Rogers couldn't catch it. And fourth down for John Burroughs.
It was a good play by the Seneca linebackers. They did a good job. There's a little bit of pass rush. But number 5, David White, was wide open for John Burroughs. He came on the opposite side of the field and did a crossing pattern, and Seneca's pretty lucky they had a little pressure on him right there because he was there. John Burroughs' line does a good job on the pass. They break down, and they really did a good job stopping the penetration.
John Burroughs, 4th down. They'll go for it here. 4th down, nearly 10. This could be the ball game. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Seneca 8. John Burroughs 7. There's the snap. Here's the pass from Walther. Oh, it is caught. A beautiful catch. John Burroughs, 1st down at 10. The catch made by Swift Clark on a diving catch. What a grab.
Yeah, that was something you see on TV, on the instant replay, on the ESPN Sports Center or something. It was even tipped by Thomas Kelly. It was a nice play all the way.
Well, you talk about a game-saving catch to keep them alive in this ball game. Swift Clark just made it. 3:17, 1st and 10, Burroughs. Here's the give. Big hole, Rogers bouncing off of tacklers inside the 35, down near the 30. Big Rob Rogers. He only lists at 185. He looks bigger than 185 on the field. Maybe it's all that mud that's caked to his uniform. I don't know. Defense cry by Seneca. Burroughs fans to our right. They want to score. 2:44 to go. It's 8-7. Seneca with a lead, 4th quarter. Here's the pitch. It's White. White bouncing off of the tackler and is knocked down. Coming up to make the tackle, number 74, Jason Hemry, to make the stop. It's going to be 3rd down, less than 2 yards for 1st and 10 for the Bombers. The winner goes to the state championship game in Columbia on the 29th of this month. John Burroughs fighting the clock here with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the ball game. Down by a point. Here's the pitch to Greg Smith, left side. He's the 1st down. He's at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. Oh, the 2-yard line. John Burroughs and Greg Smith with the big play.
Seneca had him at the line of scrimmage, and that's what's bad about it. He just made it. He made another one of those hurdle moves. He hurdled the linebackers. He went over them, and it was a game-saving tackle.
Who's had a broken leg in the 5th game of the season, just made the biggest play of his high school career here today. It's 1st and goal, Burroughs at the Seneca 2-yard line. Down by 1 with 1:50 to go. The play, Walters, Smith, touchdown, Burroughs. And the Bombers are celebrating as they give it to Greg Smith, and he scores from 2 yards out to make it 13-8.
And boy, that diving catch looks big now. John Burroughs had their fans run out onto the field after the touchdown at the minute 48, and I believe they saved themselves a penalty by calling a timeout. I can't believe the officials are letting them get away with this.
I can't either.
I mean, they were out on the field.
Burroughs pouring out of the stands onto the field. There's still a minute 48 to go, and there's still the extra point to come up here for Burroughs. Well, that touchdown by Smith was set up by Smith on the big long run that he broke it down to the 2-yard line. Extra point coming up here as there's timeout on the field as they try to get the fans back on the sideline. How long was that run by Smith to set up the touchdown? Did you?
26 yards.
26-yard run setting it up. Well, that could have been the ball game there. Seneca had them where they wanted them, but they let them up. And sometimes the good teams make the big plays that win you the big ball games, and looks like Burroughs may have come up with it here as they go for 2. Walther sprints out to the right, keeps it, He stopped short of the goal line, so it's no good. But the score stands with 1:48 to go. John Burroughs 13, Seneca 8. Back in a moment, you're listening to Class 2A semifinal football. In Webster Groves in the suburbs of St. Louis on a cold Saturday afternoon. That has just gotten colder for the Seneca Indians. They led 8-7 with a minute 48 to go in the ball game, and they let the Bombers off of the deck, or out of the mud, so to speak, as Greg Smith set up his own 202-yard touchdown run, and they lead 13-8, and they get set to kick off back to Seneca, and they need a big play here. Here comes the kick, angling to the far sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So we'll see what the Indians elect to do here. The winner advances to play the winner of the Marceline Pembroke Hill game in Show Me Bowl 91 on November the 29th. We're going to force Levy to kick the football over again, this time from the 35-yard line. Hoping to get that football into the hands of Mac Whitehead or maybe Troy McDaniel. They need a big play, and the clock right now is much in favor of John Burroughs. Lefevre. Levy will sprint into the football and send it high end over end. Mac Whitehead at the 26. He goes up the far sideline, out across the 30, 35, up near the 40, and Seneca will have a minute and 43 seconds to get back into this football game. Jared Whitehead, who has led the team all the way this afternoon at quarterback. And we may see the football in the air. Cheyenne Cummings comes over to the near side as the wide receiver. And lone setback is Jim Hoover. Back to throw. Whitehead, sack. And he's dropped, big loss all the way back to the 26-yard line as the Bombers converge in on him. Mulligan was the first one there to hit him. And a big loss for Seneca back to the 26-yard line. That's what happens to you when you have to throw the football, and they know you have to throw the football. They just line up and come at you.
Now, Seneca, when they do pass the ball, and they do pass it effectively, it's when it comes off the play action, and right now there's no doubt that they're not going to be running.
We're down to a minute. Whitehead, again, sprint straight back to throw. Here comes the rush. Oh, they really nail him. No penalty marker. That was Nat Storage, who just knocked Whitehead about 5 yards end over end, and the official was standing right there, and there was no penalty marker thrown. Boy, I'll tell you what, that could have brought out a yellow flag there. But it didn't.
No.
And it's incompleted pass, third down and about 15 to go. And looks to me like we're going to have a John Burroughs back in the championship game. They've got 4 titles to their credit. One of them was a tie with Lexington. Something short of a miracle, and Seneca is going to finish their season at 11-2 here this afternoon.
Well, these two teams are pretty evenly matched, even though they're not size-wise. This right here could have been the championship game.
It could very well be. Third down, 15 yards to go for a 1st and 10. Out of the I formation, Jared Whitehead will bend under center and take the snap with 46 seconds left. He pumps once, throws to the flat, intended for Cummings. It's incomplete. Defensively, David White over there to break it up. So that brings up 4th down. So a 4th down play for Seneca with 43 seconds on the clock. 4th and about 14. You know, we're supposed to get about 3 inches of snow here in St. Louis tonight. I hope we're well down the road towards the Neosho by then. The skies are getting darker by the minute. I formation, Seneca goes for it. They give it to Hoover, and he bounces off and bounces off another, and is tackled for a loss, and they will give the football up. John Burroughs will just have to run out the clock here to preserve the win.
Now, they played good.
They played good. Seneca has got nothing to be ashamed of. They've had a super season, and I think they probably finished a lot farther down the road than a lot of people would have thought at the beginning of the year. Because I understand they've got some awfully good talent coming up in the sophomore and 8th grade class, and for Coach Tom Hodge.
Yeah, this isn't the last you'll see of Seneca in the playoffs, not for a long time.
They've been here, this is their 11th trip, they'll be back. So Burroughs has 18 seconds. They're not even going to snap the football, they're going to take a delay, they're going to snap it. No, they're going to take a delay of game penalty here, and they'll probably not have to snap the football. So this one will be history in 11 seconds, and I doubt if the Bombers even snap the football. Well, the folks that made the trip to St. Louis this afternoon saw their Seneca Indians play an outstanding football game against a very big physical team here in St. Louis. First down 15, Bombers come to the line of scrimmage. Walther will bend under center. They snap it. He jumps on the football, and the clock is going to run. And they're counting it down on the other side. Now they stop it at 6. They'll wind it. Now Seneca takes their timeout. We would like to thank all of our sponsors here on the playoffs with the Seneca Indians. All our fine sponsors on KVTN and Seneca and Neosho and surrounding areas supporting Seneca High School football. You got a great bunch of players down on the field on a cold afternoon here in St. Louis that have played their hearts out today. And they will go home as District 7 champions, Big 8 champs, with an 11-2 record on the 1991 football season. And they'll see you next year. Here will be the final play of the game with 5 seconds to go as Burroughs chip Walter takes the snap, and the Burroughs fans will count it down. Well, they just can't seem to get things over with here in St. Louis. They stopped the clock again. And so while they do, we'll take this time to tell you that coming up tonight here on KVTN, we've got SNSU basketball. They're at home in Springfield against Augustana College at 6:45, and Darren, we might be in Springfield by 6:45. We might stop at SNS and see the Bears play tonight.
Well, it was a fast game.
It's a fast game. It's right now 3:31 here on KVTN, Neosho, Missouri. A low-scoring football game. The Bombers received the opening kickoff and took it down and ate up the clock in a 7-yard touchdown run by Greg Smith. This will be the last play of the game, maybe. 3 seconds to go. Walther barks off the signals, falls on the football, gives it to the official, and it's over. The John Burroughs Bombers will play for the championship in Class 2A in the state of Missouri against the winner of Pembroke Hill and Marceline as they defeat the Seneca Indians here this afternoon by a score of 13-8. We'll return to Webster Groves in a moment. You're listening to Class 2A Championship Football. Okay, you better take a 2-minute timeout here. Oh, man. I'm so cold, I've lost absolute track of commercials here. I'll give you a couple of breaks. It is cool. It is gold. Just 2-minute break, 2-minute break. Thank you, sir. You can dispense with this microphone. Oh. Tell you what, why don't you go grab hold of that thing and slide it down this way just a little bit so we can get a little heat. We're going to be here for just a little while. Welcome back to Mouse Field here in Webster Groves in the suburbs of St. Louis, where this afternoon the John Burroughs Bombers defeated the Seneca Indians by a score of 13-8. They now advance to the state championship game the day after Thanksgiving against the winner of Pembroke Hill and Marceline. Outstanding effort today by the Seneca Indians, and Darren Burr joining us here on the broadcast this afternoon. I think the Indians gave it all they had. They could have used a break or two. Unable to get the breaks at the right time, but when they got the score and led 8-7, it looked like it was going to be a Seneca win here today, but the big play by Greg Smith, the 26-yard run that set up the 2-yard touchdown run again by Smith, was the ball game. Seneca just couldn't come back. There was not enough time left on the scoreboard clock. It's been a defensive struggle all afternoon.
Yeah, the big play was the big run by Smith and the diving catch on 4th down, and that was the play that Seneca can't do anything about that. That was just pure athlete in him. That was something he couldn't stop, and John Burroughs deserved it. They played a good game. They've got an excellent team. They're well coached. They didn't make many mistakes, and neither did Seneca, and that's what's bad about it. It was a long drive home, and it just became a little bit longer.
Somebody has to lose in every ball game, and it's a shame somebody has to lose in a situation like this one, but Greg Smith was the key to John Burroughs offensively. He scored the first touchdown after the big drive by John Burroughs on the opening kickoff. They took it down inside the 10-yard line, and Smith on the 7-yard touchdown run, Rob Rogers on the extra point. It was 7-0 at that point. It stayed that way until the 4th quarter. Seneca with 11:56 at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Cheyenne Cummings, a 1-yard touchdown run. He ran in the 2-point conversion. They took the lead 8-7. It remained 8-7 until 1:48 to go in the ball game, and then the big catch by Swope, the big run by Smith, setting it up at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. And then the 2-yard touchdown run, 13-8, the final score. The numbers this afternoon, it was Seneca with 126 yards on 41 rushes. Whitehead was 1 of 6 for 8 yards. They had 9 first downs. They had to punt the ball 5 times for a 28-yard average. They were penalized 3 times for 15 yards. They turned the ball over once. Cummings had 23 yards, or had 23 carries and 68 yards this afternoon.